I want to wish Coach and his team the best of luck in this conference tournament this week. I'd like to also thank all our alumni this weekend that came out. We had over 100 former players that came back this weekend to see the facility upgrades and everything. So it was really nice seeing a bunch of the old guys come back and enjoy their time here. Also, all the fans that donated money with our auction that we did over the 3 days. I appreciate them and their donation. All their funding went directly to our baseball program. So I want to thank them in the jerseys that we auctioned off. Back to baseball, I thought our pitching staff did a great job. You take away the 9th inning in Game 1, we held a very good baseball team down to 1 run in the first game and 1 run in the second game, and that's not easy to do. We let Game 3 get away from us, unfortunately, but we were able to win the series. So I was really glad how they handled finals that week and practice that week and the ability to stay focused and get the job done on the field. We knew we'd have to hold them down to be able to win. We didn't do that on Sunday, but we were able to do it on Friday and Saturday. So now we got to let that go. Good or bad or indifferent, you got to let the week go when you start the next week. So that's all over with. Now we've got to move on to get some rest. Now that school's out, we'll practice Wednesday, Thursday over there, and get ready for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So questions you might have.
You talked yesterday about needing to solve Sunday. What do you think? What's your best bet?
Well, what we're going to do probably is just leave Sunday as TBA and plow through Friday and Saturday and then make a decision on Sunday once we get through Friday and Saturday.
Is it a mental thing? What do you think?
Well, I just think anytime somebody, just like a hitter, they can get out of order in a batting lineup and go cold or get hot. Sometimes you have to flip things, and I just think if we flip something, I think we'll be okay. Sometimes guys get in ruts, whether it's hitting or pitching, just like Nick Lee kind of got in a little rut. We got him out of it, got him in the bullpen. He's been outstanding since then. So we did it a couple years ago with Matt Hicks, was struggling as a closer. We flipped him to a starter, and he took off. So Demo, was struggling a little bit early in the year as a closer. We've started throwing him in the middle of the games, and he's taken off. So I just think it's just to get him out of a rut and not let him keep going back through the same thing over and over and over and hoping for a different result. So sometimes you just got to flip their brain. So we're going to flip it and get after Friday and Saturday and then decide what we want to do on Sunday after watching them as hitters and seeing what we have available after the Friday and the Saturday game. He could be. We like him where he is, but if we go through Friday and Saturday and he's available, we can use him, definitely.
Do you think having the finals over with, do you think that helps them play better, not having the stress of school?
I think there's seasons in our ultimate season. Just like there is in Major League Baseball, I think, spring training's fun. It's new. Everybody's undefeated. The shoes, the equipment's all brand new. And then you get to season 2, which the shoes are old now, and the gloves old, and the uniforms are old, and travel starts to catch up to you, and you can get bitter according to how you've been doing. You got to get through that bitter middle. And then you hit the finals where you approach the 3rd season, which to me is funner for them, because school's over, finals are over, and now they just have baseball. And then if you can get to that next season, like Coach was talking about, getting to that regional, seeing your name come up on Memorial Day Monday, that's when it really gets fun, is when you can get to that season. But there's a lot of bitterness along the way to be able to get to that last season on Memorial Day, and that's what we're all striving for, just like he alluded to. That's our goal is to be in the top field of 64 and to be at an NCAA regional, bottom line. And so if they'd have to answer that question, I'm sure they would tell you, not having finals and getting some rest in, being able to work out in the mornings now kind of flips their brains, which is kind of fun because they go from a redundant routine every day at 2 o'clock, every day at 2 o'clock, every day at 2 o'clock, and now you get to do it in the morning, have the afternoons off for them to go do some things that they want to do. I think it's a good thing.
What do you learned about your team through that bitter season you were describing, and what have they learned about themselves that you guys can do to close the season strong?
Well, you hope that the bitterness, doesn't make you bitter. I mean, that's the issue. You don't want the outside to contaminate your inside, and that's what happens. It happens in life. It happens in divorce. It happens, all the time. Somebody does somebody wrong in a divorce, and she said she'll never get married again, or he'll never get married again. The bitterness lasts for a long time. So you have to be careful with that. You can't let the outside contaminate your inside. And we've been fortunate enough to not let other people's perception become our reality, which is good. I mean, there's not many people thought we could beat Coastal Carolina. And, we had them down for a sweep. So what's good is they haven't listened to the outside world. They haven't let the outside contaminate their inside. And because of that, we still have a fighting chance. Because, again, most people don't quit halfway up the mountain. At the bottom of the mountain, they quit halfway up it. And halfway is important. It's important in Major League Baseball. The All-Star break, a lot of teams die off. A lot of teams get hot and go on. It all depends on what happens through that bitterness. And so I'm really proud of them that, they haven't let, the bitterness make them bitter. They've used it, because there's an old saying, the obstacle is not in your way. The obstacle is your way. But again, it starts early in Little League. A kid walks up to the plate with the bases loaded and 2 outs. One kid looks at it as a chance to succeed. One kid sees it as a chance to fail. It's the same situation. It's just how he sees it. So you got to try to control the way they think. If they listen to the outside world, they're going to go nowhere. I mean, they're going nowhere. They have to be able to tune all that out and make sure that they understand nothing's ever good or bad. It's how you see it. And so they've done a good job of trying to learn from the first half and just try to keep the old blinders on the old mule and keep plowing. That's what we got to do. We can't look back. Anything we did this weekend will not help us this upcoming weekend. Those games are gone. We have to move forward and get refocused. That's why this business is so tough, is that you're only as good as your last game. You win 2, you feel good about yourself, come out Sunday. Now you wake up Monday mad because, you lost Sunday and didn't sweep. So it's an up and down road that you got to be careful to not get too low and get too high, but try to just stick with the plan, stick with the process. Being on a process is not result-oriented. The outside world is result-oriented, and that's why we have to firewall them away from the outside world, because they need to stay on process. The outside world's stuck on results. So results don't get you anywhere. Process does. The more time you spend on a result, you're getting further and further away from the process. And so what I like about this group is that they've been willing to go through the process that it was going to take to hopefully be a champion. You don't know what that process is. I mean, it might be undefeated. It might be getting beat on like we did the first half. You don't know. I mean, many people win championships many different ways. But the ultimate thing that's the same in every championship is that they got to go through a process. And if you're not willing to go through the process, then you're not going to be a champion. You're just not gonna. And so I'm glad up to this point that they have been able to stick to the process. Pitch, play defense, and get timely hitting. We did that Friday. We did it Saturday. Sunday, we didn't pitch. We didn't get timely hitting. We played defense. So we only did one thing. So we left a loser. So we have to stay on our script for us to be successful. So I'm real proud of them up to this point, that they've been able to stay on the process. So that's what we're doing this week. We got another opponent, but technically the opponent is us. He's getting on the bus Thursday. He's traveling with us Thursday. He's going to be on the bus, in the bus, at the hotel. It's us. So the more we can solve us, the better we'll be.
On that note, solving your bullpen and solidifying your bullpen, how much does that help your season and really, help you guys win these streaks in a row?
Well, it's really helped. I mean, when you got a Nick Lee down there and, throwing the way he's throwing, and then a Logan Stokey, and then the starters, they've done a great job of getting us out of middle relief on the Friday and the Saturdays. What's made us vulnerable is we're getting back to middle relief on Sundays. That's what we got to try to stay out of. Middle relief is always tough at any level. So when starters can get you past middle relief and get you to the bullpen, you're going to be a lot better of a baseball team. And so we've been very fortunate to sit back and think about, when you sit on a wish list, sometimes you got to kick yourself for not looking back. But, I mean, technically we could have Gunnar Leger on Friday, Schmidt on Saturday, and Hogan Harris on Sunday with Nick Lee, Logan Stokey, Wyatt Marks, and Evan Guillory in the bullpen. I'd be a lot better coach. Those two guys have really been rock solid for us. And hopefully they can continue to throw the way they throw in, and our starters can continue to get us out of middle relief.
With how tight the division race is, and with the start to the season, but now you guys have won, I believe, 5 straight weekend series. Is it like this team is already in playoff mode, and do you like the sense of urgency that this team plays with as they move forward towards the conference tournament and then beyond?
Well, I'm glad we've got some urgency. That means they care. They could have packed it in with the first half and didn't. I think this is a very close team. They're very close. I think they understand where we are, and I don't think they look ahead, which is good because, as Coach said earlier, we haven't played good enough in the first half to look ahead. I mean, we can't. We got to stay focused and go inning by inning right now. So I think they're doing a good job of doing all the things we need to be successful. If we can just get a little bit more consistency on Sunday right now, then you've got a little bit more consistent weekend. I think without the midweeks gone, they're picking up some rest, which is good for them. The final situation going now, picking up some rest. But I do believe they've got some urgency. I believe they understand what's in front of them, and I think they've all hooked in onto the process. Friday night was the first night that we lengthened out the field. We delivered a big lick, which we hadn't been able to do. We put somebody away, a good team. And Saturday, we shortened the field with bunting. So it was the first time we were able to be able to lengthen the field and shorten the field all in the same series. That's not always easy to do. Some people can shorten the field only. Some people can lengthen it. But when you can do both, that's what made the 58-win team so good, the College World Series team so good, even when Coastal won their national championship. I think they had 60, 70 base hit bunts. I think we almost had 100 base hit bunts with the 58-win team. But our slug and our on base percentage was through the roof. So at the same time, it's tough to defend that, man. It's like in football, you can run and pass. It becomes very difficult to defend that kind of team. Just a running team, they're easy to defend, or vice versa. And so I was real glad this weekend we were able to lengthen the field and shorten it. And that's when you can become good, is when you can lengthen and shorten the field all in the same game, because now they don't know what you're going to do.
Any more questions?
What are the challenges of the series this weekend, coming out on top?
Well, one, it's on the road. That's the biggest issue. We've got one good thing is this team has played well on the road. I think we got a winning record on the road. I think we're 500 at a neutral site, but we've got a winning record on the road. So they have played good on the road. So that's a good thing. Our on-base percentage and sluggage percentage is up on the road, so that's a good thing. I think the thing is just to stay focused and to go inning by inning and do the things that I think they've been able to do so far in the second half. Just don't get ahead of ourselves and just make sure we just go pitch by pitch and inning by inning.
And then just how good the softball team you guys have been in the past, just being on campus since you've been here a while, how have you just collectively kind of pushed each other, just seeing, across across the way the other team's doing good? Is that kind of something that you guys talk about no matter who the softball coach is?
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, they're kind of our counterpart. They're playing when we play in. We support them. We all wear the same name across our chest. So, I mean, every sport's important to us. When our golf team does good and our volleyball team does good or our football team or anybody, we all wear the same name across our chest. And for years, in the spring, both of us try to get to postseason play. We have a high standard. You heard him say that here. You either going to talk to me on Memorial Day or I'm not going to be real friendly with you on Memorial Day. I mean, one of the two. My Memorial Day is either going to be good or it's going to be terrible. My wife understands that. My family understands that because that's our standard, is we want our name to come up on that TV. We want the university's name. It doesn't say Tony Robichaux, baseball. It says our university's name. Same thing with him. I think he gets it. He understands that when selection show happens for them, it won't be his name that's going to come up. It's going to be the university's name. And anytime we can get our university out nationally positively, not because of some arrest or DWI or something stupid, but to have our university's name out nationally, then I think we're doing our jobs as coaches. I think we got great coaches here. I've been here the longest tenured coach, and we have a lot of coaches in here that truly care. I mean, volleyball, golf, soccer, tennis. I watch them. I interact with them every day. They all care. They all get it. They all understand that the program's bigger than them, and their ultimate goal is to get their team name out there nationally, and we all benefit because of that. So we're pulling for them. We watch them on the bus when we can watch their games. Some of the girls came yesterday and sat in my wife's box from softball to get out of the heat. So it's always been a close thing. We all swing a bat and throw a ball. I guess that's what links us. But we're pulling for them. Their conference tournament's always a week before ours. We used to joke all the time because, they hit so many home runs and score so many runs. We'd tease our hitters and our pitchers when they would throw no-hitters over there and everything else, and tell them, hey, we need to be like the softball team. We even wanted to borrow maybe a couple of their hitters sometimes in the middle of the week. But we pull for them, and we hope that they can get in on their selection show and that the university's name comes up, and then right behind them on Memorial Day, we hope our name can come up too.